Hey y'all, I'm Sean Lazier, driving the number 67L IMCA Sport Compact. Tonight we're going to be heading out to the Kennedale Speedway Park. The last couple of days there's been a lot of rain going on, so this pretty waterlocked, and it's going to be a heavy track out there tonight. Should be pretty technical, probably going to be a little rough, but who knows, maybe it'll take out some moisture and we'll get a nice smooth surface. But regardless, we're ready to go. Got the car washed and cleaned this week. She's nut and bolted and ready to go head out to the track and whoop some. But let me give you a tour of our 67L IMCA Sport Compact. All right, so this is our IMCA Sport Compact, number 67L. We race mainly around here in the DFW area in Texas. I am from Mansfield, Texas. This is where we operate out of. This is our shop here. Relatively spacious. We got our check wall over there behind us. We're not any strangers to Victory Lane, and we're hoping to keep that going tonight. This class is a stock type, inexpensive, relatively easy entry into oval racing here around this area, as well as throughout the Midwest and different areas like that. But this is a really well-known class, so I'm sure you've seen them before if you've been to a dirt track. But like I said, tonight we'll be at Kennedale. There's plenty of tracks to run at around this area. We mainly visit out to Boyd, we go to Abilene, we go to Grayson County, and so on and so forth. Typically somewhere different every week, because there's not always a track running us, so we kind of travel around a little bit. We've been as far north as Iowa, and so far this year, well, we've stuck around this area. We've gone a couple hours out, been to Louisiana once, but for the most part, stayed in the Metroplex. Got a couple wins under our belt, haven't fished outside the top 3 yet, so hoping to keep that going tonight. So we'll see how it goes. Let's get this thing loaded up and make our way out to the track. Alrighty, well, we're unloaded here at Kennedale, and we are second in the running order after a very rainy week here in the DFW Metroplex, so a little bit unideal. It's going to be most likely pretty greasy, very greasy for our heat race, and most likely going to be a little rough if the moisture stays in there for the features. So we're going to see how this goes. Drew a 93, so we're going to start on the back row of our heat race. It's going to be top 5 redraw from each heat races. There's 16 cars total, 2 heats, so we just got to make it to the top 5. Hope we can redraw better than we did for our heats and go after them. So let's go run some heat race action. fairly dry. A little ruddy here and there. It was a little rough, but it was for most part dry. I was expecting something just completely greasy, damn near undrivable, but the track was really, really good. It was hooked up, set quick time out of all the heat races, but we redrew the 9 for the feature, and we're stuck behind all the fast guys that we're going to be racing against. So took it easy in the heat race, just trying to get into the redraw position, and that's what we did. So we'll see how the feature goes. We're going to be running from the last row of the redraw in 9th position. We've got 20 laps to do it. I think we've got a real hot rod today, so I'm pretty excited. So we'll try and get her done, see what happens. right, well, it's the next morning now after our feature win last night. It was a good night. We had a really strong car from the moment we unloaded last night from the heat race to the feature. Even though we drew in the back both times, drew a 93 for our heat races for our heat race line, and then drew number 9 for the feature, and we just survived. Honestly, it was a pretty messy feature from the start of it. So 2 red flags. I'm glad both drivers were okay. But it was a rocket. The car was absolutely on point. I don't think there was really anything different we could have done. So really happy with how the car ran. We're able to set quick time in both the heat races and the feature, and we kind of just walked away with it once we took the lead and never really looked back. So race got cut short due to those 2 red flags, and like I said, just glad everyone's okay. And I got to thank the Kennedale Speedway Park officials and the crew that really made last night come together. It really wouldn't have been possible without them giving us a place to race. 170 cars showing up whenever everyone else is rained out is no joke. The people making the trek out there, it's a big deal. So thank you to Kennedale. Thank you to all the fans that come out to the tracks and keep our tracks open. Of course, there's a bit of an epidemic around the world and around the country that dirt tracks are starting to close down, and it's kind of just been an unfortunate thing to see, even around here in Texas. So thank you to all the fans that keep our tracks open and give us a place to race. Thank you to the officials and everyone over at Kennedale Speedway Park. It's an amazing facility. The faculty is incredible, and looking forward to coming back in 2 weeks to go race at Boyd and Kennedale, and hope to bring you all along with me. We're gonna get the car washed and nut-bolted and get right back at it, and hope to continue our winning ways. So thank you to all the fans who have stopped by our trailer last night and give us a shout, said hi, sucked around, had a conversation. And thank you to all the guys that are on the car, Mark's Mobile Trailer Repair, America's Car-Mart in Siloam Springs, it's Jason Henson, TBG Tuned, Wild Child Racecars, L&D Transportation, Diamond Pit Lights. And thank you everyone for tuning in, and hope you all have a great rest of your day. We're going to get back to it and get back to work.